Well, we're back in the wood shop today, and we're going to start work on the upper cabinets for the basement shop. These are going to be 4 boxes wide. They'll line up with the lower cabinets, and yeah, they're about a foot deep, 31 inches tall. So we're going to get those done now. Well, we're over at the milling machine now. We didn't get any footage of cutting out the vertical pieces of the cabinets because the camera was dead, but it's the same process that we used for the lowers. So I got one of the vertical pieces here, and I have it set up on the milling machine. I'm going to use this to drill the holes in it for the pegs to mount the shelves. And I've done this before, it works really well. I stick a block of wood cut to the width of a slot in the table, and that gives me a backstop. And then I just got a little clamp here. There's no side cutting forces because we're just drilling down. So that's pretty easy. So we got a 1/4 inch 2-flute carbide end mill, flat bottom obviously. So we use that to plunge, it gives us a nice hole. And we're set up right now so that the bottom edge of the box piece is 8 inches from our little fence that we made. So it's quick to line it up with tape measure, throw another one on there, hit run. The mill will drill 19 holes, 1 inch spacing. There's a little piece of 1/4 inch fiber board underneath it that we'll use, you know, so we can drill all the way through without a skin on the bottom. And then I can just flip it over and do the other side, and that takes care of the 3 inner pieces for the uppers. Don't have to worry about going too deep or too shallow. Because I need them on both sides. So I'll drill them all the way through. Quick, easy. 2 passes per board. We'll get those done. The outside edge ones will be a little more difficult. Like I said, the depth, and then it gets a little tricky flipping it around. Make sure you line it up right. So this is a little jet baby Bridgeport, they call it, that I converted a few years back. I think it was more than a few now. I think it was 2008 we did this. It runs on Mach 3. We got gecko drives with servos. It runs okay. Have some encoder issues on the X-axis, so I actually have it disabled right now because it'll start to hum when we get going. A VFD 3-phase motor. It's not tied in, manual control, but we'll just fire up the drive, hit run, and we'll get to drilling. Get some footage of that. Alright, so here's a shot of Mach 3, ready to go. We just used the wizard to create the row pattern. So we got a shot of that there. And see that. 19 holes in a row. And we'll just run that and punch a few holes in it. We had some audio difficulties here, so it's going to cut out for the rest of this clip. Not sure exactly what happened, but hopefully we can fix it going forward. Alright, for these next 2, we're going to use the quill instead of the knee. And I have a second profile in Mach 3 set up to switch the operation of them so that the quill becomes the Z-axis and the knee becomes the A-axis. So that profile switches them around. All the other settings are the same. Speeds, calibration, everything. So we'll use that to go to drill the holes in the end pieces, which are only halfway through, 3/8 of an inch deep. You can use the knee, it'd be just fine, but it's kind of cool to watch. I figured I'd show you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drill the peg holes in the sideboards for using the quill. Let's go ahead. Now that we got the holes drilled in the verticals for the upper cabinets, we have to go ahead and cut a notch in them to mount them on the wall. So we're going to end up hanging these on 2x4s that are strapped to the wall. So I'm going to cut a notch in the bottom for them to sit onto, and then we'll use the Craig jig to screw the cabinets to the 2x4s. And I'm only going to cut the inside ones so that way the 2x4 is hidden and doesn't stick out the outside ones. So then at the top of the boards, we have to cut 2 notches, one for the upper 2x4, and then a second one that'll wrap around one of the drain pipes that's in the shop. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Here I am cutting the upper notches in the verticals. I do the big notch for the pipe first, and then continue with the smaller notches on the top and bottom. Alright, well we're back in the basement now, and we're going to get started putting the upper cabinets together. We've got them all cut out with all the notches for the 2x4s. We've got 2 12-foot 2x4s that are nice and straight. We'll use those as a guide to start, and then we'll screw those to the wall so we can just pick the cabinets up to the wall and put them on there. So we'll get started now. So here are the 4 different pieces of the cabinets. We've got the 2 outside pieces here. Got the bottoms for the cabinets, the tops, and the 3 insides. So that'll build us the 4 cabinets. The tops are substantially smaller than the bottoms, as you can see, because we have a pipe, a 2-inch drain pipe that the back of the cabinet has been notched out for to fit around. So we use the space we have. So we got to notch the tops. And I'll give you a little view. This is one of the middle pieces. Hold it sideways so we get the whole thing here. And you can see right here is the notch for the pipe, to have room for the pipe. And then right here is the notch for the 2x4, the upper 2x4. And then we got the notch for the lower 2x4 for mounting it to the wall. And then on the outside ones, these just have the notch for the pipe because the 2x4s are actually going to go on the inside so they don't stick out and you don't see the edge of the 2x4 when the cabinet's up on the wall. So then these are just drilled on one side, as you saw earlier. So we're going to start putting them together. First project on the new bench top, or the to-be bench top. Just the underlayment right now. So let's get started. Well, I decided to set up the Craig jig and drill the slotted holes into the vertical pieces first before I assemble the boxes. And figured it'd make it a little easier instead of doing it afterwards. So we're going to put 2 Craig screws into each 2x4, while through each vertical into each 2x4. So be 4 per vertical, and then the 2x4 is going to be held to the wall with the 2 1/4 Tapcon screws. So that'll hold it all together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill these now. I got to drill it into all 5 vertical pieces the insides of the two end ones, and either side that's convenient on the inside ones, because they won't be seen anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Here I am setting up the Craig jig and drilling the 3 inside vertical pieces, and then move on to assembling the boxes on the bench, which ended up being a little trickier than I thought it would be. So I move them down onto the floor and use the 2x4s as a flat surface to build them on. And then cut the 2x4s to fit inside on the upper and the lower, and then move to the wall after lifting the cabinets onto the bench and secure the lower 2x4 to the wall using the laser line as a guide. Then lift the cabinets up on some buckets, get them on the lower 2x4, make sure they're square, level, plumb, and screw the top 2x4 into the wall. Well, we're all done with the upper cabinets now. Next step is to just cut some shelves and pick up the little brackets that'll go in the holes, and that's all that's left. So we'll cut 3 shelves, I think, for each box. Maybe 2, not sure. Have to play with it. I'll probably start with 2 and go from there. I just got to order some of the brackets on Amazon, and then they'll be done. So stay tuned. The next video is going to either be the face frames for all the cabinets or the maple countertops. I had to order those, and there's a 2-week lead time on that. So we're waiting for materials now. I've done as much as I can. So check back soon, and hope you enjoyed.